You wake up, and the air has got that back-to-school chill. The kind that makes you think of scholastic book fairs, pizza lunches, and maybe, depending on where you live, the anticipation that snow is coming. You pour a bowl of Cookie Crisp, throw on your zip-up hoodie, park yourself in front of the TV, and it just feels like Christmas. But it's actually none of that, and it's the opening day of the NFL. Earlier this year, we had the pleasure of watching the Philadelphia Eagles curb stomp the Kansas City Chiefs in Super Bowl 59. As a result of their victory, they're playing the opening game of the 2025 season against the Dallas Cowboys.
How about them Cowboys?
The last time the Dallas Cowboys won a Super Bowl was Super Bowl 30 on January 28, 1996. Sports Internet has making fun of the Cowboys not winning since Super Bowl 30 pretty well covered. But what did rock music look like that day? It's January 28, 1996, which falls on the week of February 3rd, 1996 as far as the chart goes. While Mariah Carey was busy being the owner of the Billboard Hot 100, mainstream rock Airplay was seeing a solid string of songs. Kicking it off with number 40, we have She Shines by Gren, a track that sounds 90s as hell. Gren's time on the mainstream rock Airplay was very short-lived. The previous week, it debuted at number 39, it was 40 this week, and it was off the chart by next week. Gren went on to disband in 1996, however, they released a 5-song EP titled Somebody Said You'd Hate This in 2008, and had quarantine sessions during the pandemic. At number 39, we have I Want to Come Over by Melissa Etheridge. It's a pretty solid song. It's basically about somebody longing and yearning for somebody to the point where it's tormenting their soul. So it's like, I really just want to be with you and have that emotional and physical connection and not care what the consequences are. This is definitely one of those songs where when I listen to it, I forget how much I like it, but it's just good. It's just I forget about it until I don't, and then I jam to it. And whenever I do have those moments where I don't forget about this song, I have it on CD, readily available for me to jam to this. At number 38, we have Away by Toadies. It's actually kind of funny because I have a very similar opinion about this song as I do with I Want to Come Over by Melissa Etheridge. I think it's a good song. I just forget that I like this song. And I also have the CD. At number 37, we have Satellite by Dave Matthews Band. It's a solid introspective song. I mean, I like Dave Matthews Band fine. Not as much as Sirius XM does, but I do like him fine. At number 36, we have Airplay by Red Hot Chili Peppers. Now, I am one of those crazy people who loves the album One Hot Minute as a whole, but if you ask any Red Hot Chili Peppers fan, myself included, it does sound the most different out of their entire discography. With that said, and I mean this with all the love in the world, the Chili Peppers are so big at this point that they could have replaced John Frusciante with Dimebag Darrell and they still would have made the mainstream rock Airplay. And that's because people will still listen to them. It's me. I'm People. Amazing song. At number 35, we have Promises Broken by Soul Asylum. I don't really vibe with this song. I think it's pretty mid. At number 34, we have Fear of Falling by the Badleys. This is another song where I think it's good. I just forget that I think it's good. Except I don't own this CD. At number 33, we have Hard as a Rock by AC/DC. So when talking about Airplane, I said that the Chili Peppers are so big they were going to make the mainstream rock Airplay anyway. And oh boy, do I get to elaborate on this a little bit. Hard as a Rock was on the decline after being a number one hit, and this is how I think it became a number one hit.
Ha, ha, ha!
I do get slightly torn talking about this because this does apply to my favorite bands as well. I've been like a divorced dad since I was 12. I feel like there comes a point where an artist gets so big that it really doesn't matter what they put out, something is going to make a chart. And I think AC/DC was at this point. If any other new artist would have put that out in 1995, I don't think it would have gone to number one. But because it was AC/DC, it did. And just to be clear, I like AC/DC. It's partially why this only got a mid. But if I'm going to listen to AC/DC, it's going to be their older stuff. It's not going to be Hard as a Rock. Another thing I want to note about this is there are a lot of songs that never made it to number one that stood the test of time a lot better than Hard as a Rock did. Love or hate Guns N' Roses, but Welcome to the Jungle proves my point. You almost always hear Welcome to the Jungle in a stadium or at a sporting event or whatever. And Hard as a Rock isn't even the AC/DC song they play, it's Thunderstruck. The mainstream rock airplay chart tracks whatever's the most popular on mainstream rock radio stations, so I get that we're looking at what was popular at the time. And that's why I think looking at entire Billboard charts instead of just the number one hits is interesting, because a lot of great songs never make it to number one. The trade-off is there are some very mid songs that do go to number one. Well, if they go to number one, then they're good. Oh, no. There's some terrible songs that have gone to number one. Now, this is kind of the beauty of music, because I know there's a diehard AC/DC fan out there who will totally disagree with me. And the flip side is I'm the diehard Foo Fighters fan who doesn't think every song after Wasting Light is garbage. If everybody had the same opinion on music, this would be a very boring world. And you know what? I stand by my opinion. Hard as a Rock by AC/DC is f***ing mid. At number 32, we have Grind by Alice in Chains. In the mid-90s, Alice in Chains faced a lot of bad publicity because they had canceled tours, there was a lot of heroin use going on, Lane Staley allegedly lost limbs. He did not lose limbs, but Lane did look pretty rough towards the end of his life.
How about them Cowboys?
So in the words of Jerry Cantrell, it was another "f*** you for saying something about my life" song. I think this is a solid song. There are other Alice in Chains songs I would listen to before Grind, but I do think it's a solid song. At number 31, we have Hook by Blues Traveler. This song basically makes fun of pop songs, which is kind of funny that it even charted. And I'm really torn about this because I do love satire. It's one of my favorite forms of comedy. But satire in music is very hit or miss for me. The point that they're trying to make in the song is no one actually listens to the lyrics and they'll enjoy it anyway. It's like if I wanted a song with that meaning, my go-to is In Bloom by Nirvana. I'm not against silly and fun songs, but this one just came across as a little corny to me. I still gave it a good, but that's just kind of where I stand with it. At number 30, we have Understanding by Candlebox, another track that is 90s as hell. What really does it for me with this song is the chorus, and I think this is a great song, and Candlebox is overall underrated. At number 29, we have Uninvited by Ruth. This song was very 90s and very solid. I think there's a lot of songs that do what they're doing better, but it's not to say this isn't a good song. At number 28, we have Perry Mason by Ozzy Osbourne. I respect the hell out of Ozzy, but I really don't have much to say about this song. There's other Ozzy songs I would listen to before this one. I mean, it's good, it's just... At number 27, we have One of Us by Joan Osborne, no relation to Ozzy Osbourne. On this day, this song actually was charted much higher than 27 on the Billboard Hot 100. At the very least, this is a very nostalgic song to me. It kind of brings me back to some childhood memories and places and whatever. At the end of the day, I think this is a wholesome song about entertaining the idea and if God is just like any other person. Like, is he a slob on the bus? Like, just an example. The religious right didn't see it that way. They thought it was blasphemous that the question was even suggested. And how dare Joan Osborne call God a slob? And not only did her concerts get picketed over this song, people made death threats at Joan Osborne over this song. How very Christian of all of you who made those death threats. The crazy thing is Joan Osborne didn't even write this song. It was this guy from the Hooters.
If there is a God, he, she, or it was telling me to tell everyone, don't believe in me, I don't exist, take care of yourselves, take care of each other. If you want to know where everything comes from, study science, and like at the end of Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, be excellent to each other.
At number 26, we have Time by Hootie and the Blowfish. I do love Hootie and the Blowfish. One of my good friends told me that I'm the only person that she knows that owns a copy of Fairweather Johnson. Time is a very introspective song. It kind of explores the uncertainty about the future and how time is wasteful, untrustworthy, kind of driving the narrator crazy and feeling lost. Kind of makes you think about your own life. Overall, I think this is a really great song. At number 25, we have Natural One by the Folk Implosion. This song has me really torn. I do think this song is very 90s. but when I sit down and listen to this song recreationally, it just does nothing for me. I cannot put my finger on why I think this is mid. At number 24, we have The Garden of Allah by Don Henley. I think the song is pretty mid. At number 23, we have Sister by the Nixons. Good song, very 90s. I'd probably connect with it more if I had a sister. At number 22, we have Come Down by Bush. It's a good song about coming down from a euphoric feeling. Gavin Rosdale wrote this specifically about his relationship with his ex-girlfriend. At number 21, we have Pure Massacre by Silverchair. This song was inspired by the Bosnian War, which took place between 1992 and 1995, and it's overall a commentary about the senselessness of violence and the destruction that war causes. It's a good song. At number 20, we have Naked by the Goo Goo Dolls. On paper, I should like this song. I should like the lyrics and I should connect with it, but I just don't. I don't know. I thought the song was mid when I listened to it. At number 19, we have Possum Kingdom by the Toadies. I think this is a great song. I feel like this is one of those songs where you're listening to your local rock radio station and then this comes on and it's just like, oh yeah. At number 18, we have Promise by Victor. This song does nothing for me, and I gave it a mid. At number 17, we have Brain Stew by Green Day. Brain Stew was released as a joint single with Jaded, and they segue into each other. There was a point in time where I really liked Green Day, even had American Idiot on a birthday cake, but these days I could take them or leave them. Brain Stew and Jaded have the popularity they do because they're both great songs, and I totally recognize that, but at the same time, I could go the rest of my life without listening to either of them ever again. And I do sort of cringe every time I hear Brain Stew on TikTok. There, I said it. Truthfully, that's how I feel about a lot of great songs that end up being overplayed. At number 16, we have this amazing banger, Bullet with Butterfly Wings by the Smashing Pumpkins. Are there any truer words spoken other than, the world is a vampire? I mean, probably, but what an intro. A song about feeling trapped and powerless. I mean, written specifically about how fame felt like a burden as opposed to glamorous to Billy Corgan, but a relatable feeling, to say the least. At number 15, we have Wonderwall by Oasis. I gave this song a good rating, but could go the rest of my life without hearing it ever again. Next, at number 14, we have a future number one hit, In the Meantime by Space Hog. While there are a handful of songs I think are perfect on this chart, in my opinion, this is the best song on the chart. There are just songs out there that give you an unexplainable warm fuzzy, and this is one of them for me. There is just an optimism about this. Like, lyrically, the tone matches the music perfectly. Almost like a phoenix rising out of the ashes energy. You have this going on while all this dark music is going on in the mid-90s. And I'll still listen to all those songs, but all I'm saying is In the Meantime by Space Hog is a song I'd crank on a warm sunny day and just be happy. At number 13, we have Name by Goo Goo Dolls. This is a pretty good song. I mean, I can definitely relate to the lyrics, having that connection with someone, but you still hold it all back. It's important to note that Johnny Rzeznik did confirm that this was written about Kennedy, the MTV VJ.
Name. What is that song actually about?
I was friends with that girl Kennedy. She was a VJ.
Yeah.
She was like the alternative nation VJ or something, like, I don't know. So she and I met each other and we became friends. I loved her. I just thought she was just such the funniest, craziest person I knew at the time. And we became friends. Something about her life and her experience and her adventure just sort of sparked those lyrics inside me. I was just thinking about her. I was just thinking about my friend.
At number 12, we have Deja Voodoo by Kenny Wayne Shepherd, which is a song about obsessive attraction. Song's pretty good. I mean, there's other blues songs I'd listen to before I listen to this one again, but it's good. Dude's got chops. At number 11, we have Santa Monica by Everclear. I have a love-hate relationship with Everclear. To be clear, I do think this is a great song, but I can't just recreationally listen to Everclear anymore. When I was a teenager, I told Last FM I liked Everclear, and that was all they played on my personalized radio.
Some of us are just victims in the situation.
That is probably true. How many of you have been personally victimized by Everclear?
I actually did see Everclear live. They opened for Collective Soul, and it was unfortunately in my top 5 worst opening acts I've ever seen. Despite all this, I still think Santa Monica's a great song. But you know. We are now in the top 10, and at number 10, we have Cover You in Oil by AC/DC. And what in the famed Ghostbusters is this song?
If there's something strange in your neighborhood, who you gonna call?
Yep, it's AC/DC in the 90s. I think the song's pretty mid, to be honest. At number 9, we have Heaven Beside You by Alice in Chains. Jerry Cantrell wrote this song after a breakup with his girlfriend at the time. Despite her being the most beautiful girl he's ever seen in his life, he could not stay faithful. In the liner notes of 1999's Music Bank box set collection, Jerry went on to say, "Another attempt to reconcile the fact that my life and paths are tearing me apart from the person I love. All the things I write about her are a way for me to maybe speak to her, express things I could never express." Jerry has also said, "I still love her, but I'm too much of a f***ing wolf. Kill, attack, move on. It's so tough when you're so used to being hard. You can't tell an oak tree to be a pine." I can actually kind of relate to the tree comment, but only the tree comment. There is an emotional rawness to this song that I've always loved, so this is one of the songs that gave a perfect rating. At number 8, we have See You on the Other Side by Ozzy Osbourne. I don't really have much to say about the song other than it's great, but lyrically it's pretty self-explanatory, and rest in peace, Ozzy. At number 7, we have My Friends by Red Hot Chili Peppers. I have always loved this song, and this may be controversial, but this is one of the songs I gave a perfect rating on this chart. Say what you will about Red Hot Chili Peppers, but behind all those memes about them only singing about California are some of the best ballads. It's actually a great snapshot of what was going on with the band at the time, too. Anthony Kiedis was having his own issues with drugs. Dave Navarro was also struggling with heroin addiction at the time. Flea was going through a divorce, and Chad was down and had his own frustrations about whatever. There's just this somberness to the song. It's like, I'm sad, you're sad, my friends are sad, everybody's just sad. And you want to be there for your friends, but you're just sad. And sometimes I'll just listen to this song sad and crying in the At number 6, we have Waiting for Tonight by Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. This is definitely a relatable song, that feeling of being alone and waiting for something better to come along. In my opinion, it's hard to not like Tom Petty. One of my favorite things about him is he was the voice of Lucky on King of the Hill.
And don't you know I slipped on pee-pee and broke 2 vertebrae which had to be fused together? I'm in constant pain, but by God, I got me a $53,000 settlement.
At number 5, we have a future number 1 hit, 1979 by the Smashing Pumpkins. This is a nice introspective coming-of-age song about how much more chill childhood is compared to adulthood. As someone who drowns herself in nostalgia, I get it, but Billy Corgan is an acquired taste, and I'll just leave it at that. I don't mind 1979, but in my opinion, this is not the best Pumpkin song on the chart. I can see why this is the Pumpkins' only number 1 hit, but it's absolutely criminal that Bullet with Butterfly Wings peaked at number 4 and never made it to number 1. Speaking of number 4, we have Glycerine by Bush. This is a solid but overplayed song about a person being as dangerous as glycerine. Gavin Rosdale was talking about a girlfriend.
Are you trying to say that life is as dangerous as glycerine?
I was trying to say that the person I was writing the song about was as dangerous as glycerine.
Glycerine, nitroglycerin.
There you have it.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
See, I got that one.
Who was this person?
Yeah, who was it?
It was a girlfriend of mine called Susie.
At number 3, we have Cumbersome by 7 Mary 3. This is another rock song that is 90s alternative as hell. And I don't know about you guys, but it is still a staple on my local rock radio station. This is a breakup song, and there's a lot of regret over the separation, and it's particularly the woman's disinterest in her significant other. At number 2, we have I Got Shit by Pearl Jam. So, I like the song, and the more I listened to it, the more I liked it. But I don't know, I like Pearl Jam, but they are easily my 4th favorite band of the Big Four of grunge. I love Pearl Jam as people. Like, we absolutely need to protect Eddie Vedder at all costs. I never really connected with Pearl Jam's music the same way I connected with Nirvana or Soundgarden or Foo Fighters or Alice in Chains or even Red Hot Chili Peppers. Pearl Jam is one of those bands I forget I like a lot every time I listen to them. I enjoy listening to I Got Shit, but there's a laundry list of songs I just simply like better. And finally, the number 1 hit, on the mainstream rock airplay when the Dallas Cowboys last won a Super Bowl on January 28, 1996, The World I Know by Collective Soul. Is it my favorite Collective Soul song? Not necessarily, but this is an amazing song. And it's just more of a testament to how much I like Collective Soul. And I'm low-key kind of a sucker for songs about hope. And the way Collective Soul painted this picture is just amazing. The World I Know knocked Cumbersome by 7 Mary 3 out of number 1. And it would stay at number 1 for the next 4 weeks. The World I Know is one of 7 number 1 hits Collective Soul has had on the mainstream rock airplay. So overall, I think this mainstream rock airplay chart is solid. I found 17.5% of the songs to be mid, and this is the lowest rating I gave the songs across the board. Every other song received a good rating or better. With that said, I did find 47.5% of the chart to just be good. And that's not a bad thing, but it does open up the possibility of me liking other charts better down the line. It's just mind-boggling, because while everybody was becoming cumbersome to this world on this day, the Cowboys won the Super Bowl. I would say they also became cumbersome to this world after not winning a Super Bowl since, but honestly, if you ask any Cowboys fan,
we're doing it this year.
This could be the year, man.
Today's worth a big party. The big party comes when we win the Super Bowl.
You think the Cowboys have a real good shot this year?
We have a shot every year. We're going to win the Super Bowl this year. And if not, I'll walk a New York City block butt naked. Booty buck naked.
How about them Cowboys?